Hello everyone, I am Jyoti Thakkar and today I will explain sum number 3 in management accountancy. Okay, so let's go through from details of Srinath Limited. Srinath Limited's detail is as under. Here we are given sales. In bracket it is written that 40% is cash, means 40% sell is on the cash basis, and now the remaining 60% sales will be credit based. The sales is given 15 lakh, less cost of goods sale. Cost of goods sold is given 7,50,000. So whatever amount we get, it is 7,50,000 and it will be treated as gross profit. Then here office expense and selling expense has been deducted, 2,50,000, 125 each. Then we got the profit 5 lakh and less tax we got the profit 2,50,000. Okay, so it will net profit. Then the balance sheet is also given. Equity share, preference share, reserve, debenture, creditors, bank overdraft, bills payable, unpaid expense, and asset sides. We are given fixed assets, stock, debtors, bills receivable, cash, and fictitious assets. So on the basis of this, we have to find out the ratio. So this is your first sum. This is first sum for the English medium students. So please pay attention. And as earlier I have said that in this chapter you just have to remember the formulas. Once you remember the formula, the chapter will be very easy for you all. Okay. So let's go for the answer. The first ratio we are going to find is gross profit ratio. The formula of gross profit ratio is gross profit divided by sales into 100. We already have given the gross profit. We have to just divide this with sales. The 7,50,000 divided by 15 lakh into 100. So we will get the gross profit ratio is 50%. Then second ratio is stock ratio. The formula of stock ratio is cost of goods sold divided by average stock. Now cost of goods sold is already given, but we have to find out the average stock. In some we have given the opening stock and closing stock also given in the balance sheet. So we will find out first the average stock. Average stock is equal to opening stock plus closing stock divided by 2. So the amount of opening stock is 3,25,000 plus closing stock is 1,75,000 and divided by 2, we get the answer 2,50,000. So we have to divide 2,50,000 by cost of goods sold. So stock ratio will be cost of goods sold is given 7,50,000. We divide 7,50,000 by 2,50,000 and we'll get the answer is 3. So here we can say that the stock turnover is 3 times. Means in business, stock is rotating 3 times. The third ratio is operating ratio. The formula of operating ratio is cost of goods sold plus operating expense divided by sales into 100. Now see, cost of goods sold we have already given. Operating expense we have already given the selling expense and office expense, so that will be treated as operating expense. So we will add 7,50,000 plus 2,50,000 divided by sales 15 lakh into 100. So we'll get the 10 lakh divided by 15 lakh into 100 and we will get the answer 66.67%. So here we can say that from sales, the income of sales, we are investing back 66.66% to the operating expense. Means we are doing the operating expense of 66.67% of sales. Okay. Then the fourth ratio is current ratio. Current ratio's formula is current assets divided by current liabilities. Current assets, to find out the current assets, we have to add stock plus debtors plus bill receivable plus cash, whichever the information is given in the balance sheet asset side, we have to add it. So stock is given 1,75,000, debtor is 3,50,000, bills receivable is 50,000, cash is 2,25,000. So the answer will be 8 lakh. Now current debts or current liabilities. Okay. So for current liabilities, it is creditors plus blank overdraft plus bills payables plus unpaid expense, which is given in the balance sheet. So we'll add that creditor 1 lakh rupees, bank overdraft 1,50,000, bills payable 45,000, and unpaid expense 5,000. So the answer will be 3 lakh. Now the current ratio, we have to just divide 8 lakh by 3 lakhs and we'll get the answer 2.67 gem 1. So our current assets is of 2.67 times in compare of current liabilities. Now we go further. I hope you are understanding. You just have to keep the amount in the format of formula. You don't have to do anything extra. Okay, so it is very easy to understand. The formula of liquid ratio is liquid assets divided by liquid liabilities. Now we have already discussed that to find out the liquid assets, we have to minus stock from the current assets. Current assets amount we have already found in the last slide. So current assets is, sorry, just a second, the slide has been changed. We'll again see the slide of liquid ratio. Liquid ratio is equal to liquid assets divided by liquid liabilities. Now to find out liquid assets, we have to minus stock from the current assets. Current asset we have already calculated in last ratio. So we have to minus 1,75,000 from 8 lakh, the current assets amount. Then we will get 6,25,000. Same way, liquid liabilities is equal to current liabilities minus bank overdraft. So current liabilities already we have found. So current liabilities is 3 lakh rupees and bank overdraft is 1,50,000. So we'll get the answer of liquid liabilities is 1,50,000. And then we'll keep the amount in the formula, that 6,25,000 divided by 1,50,000. The answer will be 4.17 gem 1. Okay. The next formula is debtors ratio. Debtors ratio is equal to debtors plus bills receivable divided by credit sales and into days of the year. Now see, we have the total amount of 15 lakh sales. Here we have mentioned in some it is mentioned that 40% sales is of cash, on the basis of cash. So remaining 60% will be the credit sales. So we have to do 15 lakh into 60%. Debtors we have already 3,50,000, bills receivable 50,000, and credit sales we have got that 15 lakh into 60%. So we'll get the 9 lakh amount. And here the days is given 360. We have to calculate 360 days. In the sum only itself it is given that you have to consider 360 days of the year. So we have to consider 360 days instead of 365 days. Then we'll get the answer that 4 lakh divided by 9 lakh into 360, and the answer will be 160 days. So debtors ratio is 160 days, means debtor is paying their bill after 160 days or within 160 days. The next ratio is creditors ratio. As I have earlier said that debtors ratio and creditors ratio is very similar. We have to just change the words, debtors with the creditors and purchase with the sale, and bills receivable with the bills payable. So creditors plus bills payable divided by credit purchase into days of the year. Cost of goods here, see, we have already amount of sales, but we don't have the amount of purchase. So how we will find the purchase? That we have the formula of cost of goods sold. What was the formula? Cost of goods sold is equal to opening stock plus purchase expense minus closing stock. So opening stock we have given, cost of goods sold we have given, purchase we don't have the amount of purchase expense is not there, and closing stock we are already having. So we will keep the amount in the formula that 7,50,000 is equal to 3,25,000 plus purchase minus 1,75,000. Now we will do the calculation that 7,50,000 is equal minus 3,25,000 plus 1,75,000 is equal to purchase. So what we have done, we have shift the amount from the right side to the left side, and we all know that if we transfer or shift the amount from the right side to left side or left side to right side, the sign will be changed. Means if there is addition, then it will be subtraction, then if there is a minus, it will become plus. The side will change, the sign will be, the symbol will be changed. So we do 7,05,000 minus, because 3,25,000 is plus, so it will become minus, and 1,75,000 is minus, so it will become plus when it is transferred into left side. So we get the amount of purchase is 6 lakh rupees. Okay, so if any missing amount we have to find, we have to remember the formula, and then we have to think that in which formula the rest of the amount is given already and only one amount is missing. So rest of the amount is already given, then we can easily find out the one amount which is missing. Okay, so now we will keep the amount in the formula of creditors ratio, and that is 1 lakh creditors we have already in the balance sheet. Bills payable is 45,000 divided by 6 lakh credit purchase we have already found right now. How we will decide that it is credit purchase or cash purchase? Because there is no any specification, we will consider a whole purchase as a credit purchase. So 1 lakh plus 45,000 divided by 6 lakhs into 360. So we'll get the answer 87 days. Now we'll have to find the proprietary ratio. The formula of proprietary ratio is proprietor's fund divided by total fund into 100. Proprietor's fund is equal to share capital plus reserve minus fictitious asset. Share capital means equity and preference, both share capital. So equity and preference, both share capital is of 20 lakh. So we'll add the 20 lakh plus 20 lakh. Reserve is 11 lakh, and fictitious assets we have in the balance sheet is 1 lakh rupees. So we'll get the proprietor's fund is 50 lakh rupees. Then we have to find out the total funds. We have to do the total of liability side, and we have to minus the fictitious assets from the total of liability side. So we have to minus 1 lakh rupees from 64 lakh. 63 lakh rupees will find the amount. Now we have to keep the amount in the ratio only. That is proprietary ratio is equal to 50 lakh divided by 63 lakh into 100. So we'll get the answer 70.36%. Okay. I hope till here you found the way how to calculate these ratios. Okay. So now we'll go for the next ratio. The next ratio is return on capital employed. Return on capital employed is equal to net profit. Which net profit? EBIT, earning before interest and tax. divided by share capital plus reserves plus long-term loan minus fictitious asset into 100. Here we have to find out the net profit, that is earning before interest and tax, because we have the net profit before interest, not tax, right? Because we have the already minus the tax. So now what we do, earning before interest and tax we have to find out, and for that we have to add profit before tax plus interest on debenture. So we have to do the amount 5 lakh plus 1 lakh, that is 6 lakh. So we have to do 6 lakhs divided by 20 lakhs plus 20 lakh, that is share capital, 11 lakh plus 10 lakh. So 10 lakh minus 1 lakh. Okay. So it will become 6 lakhs divided by 60 lakh into 100. The answer will be 10%. Here we have to remember that share capital is equal to equity share capital plus preference share capital. We can't consider only equity or only preference share capital. When it is called share capital, then we have to include both the capitals. Clear? In long term loan we have included the debentures, because debenture is treated as long term loan in our business. Okay. So the next ratio is return on equity shareholders fund. Return on equity shareholders fund ratio is equal to net profit minus preference share dividend divided by ordinary share capital plus free reserves into 100. Here we have to consider only ordinary share capital, means equity share capital, because we want to find out only return on equity shareholders fund. So we will not consider the preference share capital, and even we minus the preference share dividend from the net profit. So we have the net profit 2,50,000 minus, we have to minus the preference share dividend. Here the preference share capital is given 20 lakh and 10% preference share capital is there. So we have to calculate the amount of preference share dividend, that will be 20 lakh into 10%, and that is 2 lakh. So we have to minus 2 lakh from 2,50,000 and we have to divide this with 20 lakh. So we'll get the 50,000 divided by 20 lakhs into 100 and we'll get the answer 2.5%. This is very first sum and it is very easy because most of the amount is already given in the sum, in the amount. So I hope you understood the calculation, how to calculate, the way of calculation. So if there is any difficulty or doubt, you can ask me in the group. By the time we will meet in the next video with the next sum. Okay, thank you.